Australia's leading sports organisations have pledged to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
swimming,
basketball,
netball
and athletics,
you'll see this logo.
It's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
and you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach the stars. You know you could.
Well, welcome to Cessnock Sports Ground on a beautiful Saturday afternoon, and we're here for Cessnock versus Macquarie in round 3 of the real NRL. And before the teams come out, let's have a look at the last time these two teams played.
No. Oh, well, they have to. They have to come out and shake hands and do the top. CRL directly. No, not a point, mate. Turn it up.
When we go to
Hey, Alec, how you going, mate?
Well, that was a bit of the action from the last time these two teams played, back in round 18 last year.
Mate, you're the home
And we're
team.
now in round 4 of this year, and the two teams are out on the field. Let's go through the Cessnock side, Matthew.
Yeah,
So,
number 1 we've got Kieran Holland,
defending-
number 2 Joe Woodbury, number
Okay, so
3
you kick
Jared
up.
Edwards,
So local.
4 is Sean Metcalf, 5 is Brendan Williams, the halves are Willie Hatter and Liam Foran. In the front row we've got Dan Metcalf, Brett Stevens at the hooker, and 10 Mark White, 11 Alex Fatter, 12 Geordie Connolly, 13 Brendan Fladd. And then on the benches, 14 Cohen King, 15 Noah Easton, 16 Sam Apthorpe, and the late scratching in Reed Hugo. Zeb Dunstan comes on for him in the 17.
Well, from Macquarie, the fullbacks Nathan Cantor, on the wings Camden Sutton and Mitch
Hey, mate,
Manson,
yeah.
centres Tees and Fabio Lee, and Royce Jeffrey. The halves Andrew Sumner and Mick Moran. Number 8 Danny Vaughan, number 9 Chris Hyde, number 10 Adam Swadling, number 11 Josh Schmiedel, number 12 Simon Allen, And number 13, Blake Gallen. On the bench, Blake Chaffee in 14, Matt Hay in 15, Tim Bovis in 16, and Isaac Briggs in 18. And we're away as Cessnock kick off. And as we've had 3 weeks without rugby league, and we might see that in that hit. That was a big one on the number 8 there, Danny Vaughan, the captain. And so Macquarie are getting first use of the ball, and they're bringing it away up to the 30-metre mark. It's as they go down the short side here. That's back inside to Royce Jeffrey, and that's a big run from a big centre. He's up to the 40 there already. Good start for Macquarie early here. And now out comes the big number 10, Adam Swadling. And they're working him over in the tackle there. Still another tackle to go. Blake Gallen with it now. And they look right here to Mick Moran on last tackle. They might have looked to him. They went the other side. And it's Andrew Sumner with a nice little kick through. And Kerrod Holland will pick it up. A good early start there for Macquarie. Good use of the forwards.
Yeah, both big forward packs. As we saw a couple of weeks ago with Cessnock, certainly won't miss the Macquarie boys. But likewise, I think a few of the Macquarie boys will go quite hard at the Cessnock guys. Are in for a really good game, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. Macquarie always play hard, don't they? And here's Sean Metcalf, and Cessnock just working it away up to the 30. And now they go out the back. And it's Morgan Campbell and Matthew Peterson with you here live on Bar TV. You will have noticed by now that this isn't Pete Jolly. He's been down fighting the good fight at Leichhardt Oval with the SG ball and the Harold Mats. And we've got the first penalty of the afternoon to Cessnock. And Willie Hetter's going to punch this into touch. The ground, I must say, and I might be slightly biased in this being a local, but it looks immaculate.
Yeah, it is. It is by far the best conditioned ground we've come to all year. The first few rounds of the real NRL, and look, that's no mean feat either. But I think Cessnock takes the biscuits in this regard. It is in tremendous condition.
My word, it looks like a billiard table. Here comes Mark White, and he copped a bit of work in that tackle. And now here's, I think, Brendan Halad with the ball there. Cessnock with an early chance to have a bit of an attack. And White's lining up again, but I don't think we get the ball. Here's Foran. Out the back, Heta. And now Holland. He's got Metcalf with him as well as Connolly. Here goes Connolly. Very evasive out there in the back row. Rare that you see him getting taken down first time, but that was one of them. Now here's Heta. Turns it back inside to Metcalf. Metcalf, he's looking for the pass, as he often does. And Foran set out to the left. They've got a big backline move on here. He's flicking them inside. Here's Fatah, but he couldn't quite hold on to it. And Macquarie can come away, and they're going to try and use it early here. Here's Camden Sutton. And Macquarie not content to get the turnover, want to use the ball. And that's Thiessen Faviali.
And looks like Danny Vaughan come off quite earlier. He's holding his arm, so the 14 has come on in his place in Blake Chaffee. But it looks like Danny Vaughan, which will be a big blow for Macquarie.
Yeah, that's not good at all. He's heading straight up the tunnel there. He looks like he's holding his wrist, which is bad news. That would be catastrophic for Macquarie early on. Now here's Blake Gallen. That's a good ball. There's the new man, Blake Chaffee. Forwards passing the ball, and we've got a penalty. Penalty to Macquarie here.
Yeah, I don't think Barney Miller will be too impressed with the drop ball early on. There was their big problem a couple of weeks ago against Maitland. Obviously, ended up putting in a really good performance. It's a game that they probably should have lost, but ended up clutching a draw, which they probably didn't deserve. But well fought in the end. And yeah, a lot of their problems stem from the fact they just didn't hold the ball on.
Well, they're one of those sides early in the season. And a lot of new players, and you've got to expect that it'll take a few weeks for them to get it together. Anyway, here come Macquarie again. That's Blake Chaffee getting involved for the second time. New onto the field, you wouldn't have expected to be on this early. And now they're looking right, and there's Mick Moran. Takes the tackle, looks for the pass, gets it away. But he's turned that over, I think, Nathan Cantor. Yeah, he has. Yeah, I think Moran would have been better advised to hang on to that ball. It's interesting you mentioned last week, last round in this competition. Cessnock, of course, had a 32-all draw with Maitland and snuck it at the death. Whereas Macquarie, they had their first win of the year, 44-16 over Central.
But as we've mentioned earlier in previous rounds, I don't know how form is going to play into this with the Swiss cheese of a competition, with the draw a few weeks on, a few weeks off, and obviously the 3-week break is going to be really difficult for sides to build some form, I think, throughout this year.
That's very true. Here comes Geordie Connolly. They spread the ball off the scrum there and made a good amount of ground.
14, come on. Hold. Good 10, good 10. Mick, Amita,
And now they're looking for Brendan Halad.
2, 6, clear the rock. Mick, hold.
And Stevens is in at dummy half. Gives it away to Heta, back inside to White. He'll do this all day, north-south, north-south.
3, separate.
And they're into Macquarie's half again. Heta's looking for the ball. He's got Foran outside him. It's a low pass, but it's come off legs. It might be play on out there. But no, they're going to call a knock on as they reach down for the ball. So it's just the same story as a couple of weeks ago. The combination's not quite coming together just yet.
Yeah, a bit of a pinball there. I wasn't sure if there was a hand on that. Obviously, the Bar TV viewers will be able to determine for themselves. But no, look, it was their big problem a few weeks ago, and it's just a matter of. I think they've definitely got the talent in the halves and everything. It's just a matter of getting that combination.
Yeah, that's right. But early in the season, they might be a little bit vulnerable. Now, there's a good run from Mitch Manson, who was a late inclusion in the side. He wasn't listed in the program. And here's Cantor, eager to get the ball again after turning it over last time.
Hold the line, hold the line. Hold.
And they're looking right this time. And that's Chaffee. And Macquarie have another chance to attack here. Only 6.5 minutes gone in the game. And here's Swaddling. Well, he looked to dummy and pass, but ended up having to take it himself. The move didn't quite come together. Moran's in close to the ruck here, sniffing about. This could be trouble. There he goes. Now he gets it away. Oh, but it's put down there by Sumner. That was a clever little bit of play. But both sides early on just not quite getting the last pass together.
Yeah, it certainly hasn't been clinical football, but both sides showing a little bit. Mick Moran floating about in that is going to be very dangerous. Anybody's 20 metre area, but yeah, look, both sides will be pretty disappointed that they haven't really got to complete a set yet. I don't think Cessnock have, and I think Macquarie have only completed the one.
Yeah, I think that's right. Now here's Alec Fatah.
One, good defence. Stand now.
As they bring it away.
Hold 14, hold.
Cessnock with a bit of work to do here inside their own 10. Oh, goodness me, that's a big hit. I think that was Liam Foran taking the ball up off the ruck. And I think it might be a while until he does that again. Here's Brendan Halad.
Yeah, they certainly didn't miss him, did they?
Goodness me. You can see the opportunity. He's pretty big for a halfback, but he copped it. Here's Heta. Out to Metcalf, spreading the ball early again. He's got Connolly for company. He gives him the ball. And Connolly always tries to beat that first tackle, and he's still very evasive. And it took a bit of a swipe over the top from Jeffrey to get him down. And now Stevens, and this one's just coming apart a little bit. Herod Holland, I don't think he wanted the ball.
Hold, Adam.
Last tackle now. Foran. Off the left foot, there's a hit of charge down. They might all be onside here, and if so, Mark White's well placed. A bit of a step over, and White, I don't quite think, knew whether he was onside and didn't want to play at the ball. Brett Stevens came through and had an air swing, and anything could happen here off the restart.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see what the call is. They're all kind of huddling around, and it looks like he's going to call a scrum, but which way the feed goes, I'm not too sure.
No, the referee, incidentally, today is Tom Aylett. The touch judge is Greg Ricketts on the far side, and Kylie Aylett on the near side as we look at it.
It looks like Cessnock's feed, which is must have been a bit of a knock on, I think, on the ground there.
Well, a bit of a bonus. Foran's kick came off hands and spewed along the ground, and they've been able to get the ball back in better territory. And here's Kerrod Holland.
One, clear the rock, Tees, don't stand on him. Go.
And Foran's very busy early on here. He's trying to get involved. He gives that away to Alec Fatah.
2, Adam, stand. Clear the rock. Hold.
Basically playing a half on either side of the field early on, Cessnock. They haven't been passing the ball to each other too much, Heta and Foran. A bit of overwork in that tackle. Now here's White. Out the back to Heta, and he just mistimed his run. Just mistimed it. Very scrappy game early on, you'd have to say. I think the at the moment, the facilities are outstripping the performance.
Yeah, I would agree with that. But interesting to see how the hooker for Cessnock in Brett Stevens. I thought he was really, really good, and he sparked them against Maitland last round 2. And I thought Cohen King off the bench really had a bit of spark, and I thought that's what really got Cessnock going in the back end of that second half against Maitland.
So I missed all that.
Well, Macquarie now. Let's see if they can do something with it. And that was Thiessen Favielli with the ball, and now that's Sumner stepping. Oh, and he's got past a couple too, and he's going to try and get it away. One thing about Macquarie early on, well, both sides really, they're both keen to get the ball wide, get it out there early. Now here's Blake Gallen, who, much like his namesake in the NRL, goes north-south. Carts it up with vigour. Away they go now. I reckon that might be Swaddling.
Marker up 9, move! Make it, hold Brennan. Go.
No, I was wrong. It was Simon Allen. Now here's a kick, there's another charge down, and White's through there again. He's all over it.
Start it again.
Away they come. Here's Cantor. I'd say it'll be 6 more.
Yeah,
now they give it away. There's Favielli. He's got a man outside him. He comes back on the inside. He's going to get that ball away there to Sutton. And Sutton's going to get towards the 10-metre line before absolutely belted by Brett Stevens. And I'm very glad I'm up here and not wearing that tackle. Now here's Moran, bobbing and weaving and stepping, and he's got numbers out here if they can get it away. But it's taken down there by Josh Schmiedel. Moran's lurking again, but Sutton's going to have a go himself.
Short 3. Whitey, clear the ruck.
And they've probably blown a couple of tackles here, Macquarie, but here's Moran and Sumner and Cantor and Jeffrey. He dropped that and put it on the toe. It didn't end up being a bad play, and Cantor's going to get the ball back and they'll start the set again. Well, that was very lucky, and now it's a penalty to Macquarie. That was very lucky because I'm pretty confident Royce Jeffrey dropped that ball and as an afterthought chucked a foot at it.
Yeah, I think so as well. He just sort of as a last-ditch effort just stuck his foot on it. It turned out to be a very good play. 6 to go, and yeah, they should be disappointed if they don't get some points here.
So there's Simon Allen. They can start again. They've had a bit of luck, a charge down, and then another lucky bit of play. But here's a run from Chris Hyde, and he's not far away. Now that looks like Sumner into dummy half, looking for Moran. He copped a shove as he passed that ball, but it comes out now to Favielli, and he gets clouted round the legs in a ripper of a tackle from Jared Edwards.
Hold, winger.
And Cessnock dodged one there. 3 sets in a row they had, did Macquarie, and Cessnock managed to come up with the ball. And Brett Stevens, he can have a go for a scamper out of dummy half.
Yeah, I think Cessnock will just be looking to get to that kick and try and pin Macquarie down there. They've been really stuck in their half this first 13 minutes.
Yeah, that's right. And not always through fault of their own. Now here's Foran jamming a kick downfield, and I think even though that was early in the count, they just wanted to get to a kick. And here's Nathan Cantor bringing it back. And Fatar got hold of him pretty comfortably. And they're a bit slow getting back, Macquarie. There's a few because still in offside positions, staggering back. 13 minutes into the game. And Royce Jeffrey, it's the backs doing a lot of the work here.
Clear the ruck off the pill. Good. Marker 1 on marker 1.
Gallen. Moran. Favielli. Now they've got numbers. Here's Sutton. He's got plenty of space. And Holland's coming across, but he's going to dodge, and he's going to dodge past him as well. And he's been taken down by Woodbury in the end. He lost his footing or he was home. And they've got numbers to the left now if they can use them. Sumner. Oh, there might be a bit of trouble here. I think they would have been better off with the advantage, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I didn't think he played it correctly, so I think that's why they've called it back. I think he certainly didn't look like he got his proper play the ball in there. But yeah, certainly dangerous down the right here today, Macquarie. A few times they've looked quite dangerous in Favielli and Sutton on the wing here, I think.
Well, it's been a bit of a theme of all the games we've seen so far this year that all the teams are playing good attacking football and wanting to use it and get it wide. And that's certainly been the case today. And there's going to be a try under the posts if he can get it down, but he can't. Blake Gallen, he twisted and turned and the ball comes flying out. I think it must have been stripped, but when it's in the in-goal, that doesn't matter. It's going to be a line dropout.
Yeah, not to harp on the point, but it looks like handling has been the big issue so far in this early round. And no, it looks like it's going to be a a dropout. Must have played at the ball, I
I
dare
think it was
imagine.
stripped.
Yeah.
I think a Cessnock player raked it out, and that's why it went flying out so quickly over the dead ball line. And as I said, when you're in the in-goal, you can do that. Well, Kerrod Holland's going to take the dropout. Not a baddie either, 55 metres. And so Chaffee's going to bring it back, and they're going to start the set 40 out.
Marcus stands, separate the ruck. Dan, hold. Brendan, your front, Brendan.
And here comes Allen.
Now you're right.
Straight and hard, good run. He's taken 20 metres off them there.
2.
That's a good
Marcus
charge.
Up, movement. Wait. Yeah, good markers.
And now Hyde gives it out to Moran, and they're trying this side again. That's a good ball, Favielli. They got numbers coming across. One of them's Woodbury. He gets a good tackle on him, but I think he's got the ball down. Yeah, I think it's a try.
You got the ball down.
It's Thiessen, Favielli, and referee Aylett agrees. And Macquarie, well, they've had all the ball, they've had the pressure, and now they've got the points.
Yeah, it was a matter of time, I think, with all the possession they've had in this first 15 minutes. And again, opened up and down on the right quite easily. Overlap, Favielli, and again, too big and too strong, too close to the line.
Yeah, that's right. I think we might have a look at that replay. It'll show you that they just had the numbers, but Cessnock covered well. They were short on that side. They got across there, but in the end, it's just Favielli too strong.
Terrific ball there from Mick Moran too. Got hit pretty heavy, but still managed to find Favielli right on the chest. And I think a matter of time before Macquarie broke through there. They, as I said, they've had all the possession early on in this game, and I think they'll be ruining that they haven't probably converted to points earlier. And I think Macquarie. Cessnock, I should say, will be disappointed that they haven't just been able to complete their sets and pin Macquarie down the other end. But good try there, and on the board.
Well, it would have been a bit of a heartbreaker if they hadn't scored with the ball that they've had, but Mick Moran, he's been the one doing all the work in and around the ruck, sniffing about, looking for trouble.
Yeah, he's so dangerous in that 20-metre area. Can't give him too much time or space, and even then they rushed up on him and hit him quite hard, but he still managed to get a pretty good ball out to Favielli.
Can kick a field goal too, as Maitland fans will attest. Now, and Western Suburbs fans for that matter. But he's over on the touchline here. It's a tough kick. Wind doesn't seem to be doing too much. It's a pretty still day.
It's a very, very good day for rugby league.
Well, it's textbook winter, isn't it? About 20 degrees. The 4 o'clock chill will be in later on to freeze everyone's backsides off. And that one's across the face. I don't think you'd be too happy with that one. Didn't make the line. So it's 4-0. Macquarie over Cessnock as we head towards the quarter mark in the game. Both sides struggling to hang on to it. But Macquarie just having the better of it of late. And so Holland's going to send this one long. Sumner to take over there, and I think that might be Chaffee to bring back. And they're appealing for a shoulder charge there, but I think it was just a good solid clout.
Yeah, big hit by Metcalf, I think.
Yep.
Sean Metcalf out in the centres.
Yep, he might be playing in the centres. I don't think I'd want to get hit by him.
2. Marcus, separate. Hold. Yeah, go.
And so here they come. Here's Simon Allen. They're making good ground again here. 3 runs and they're up to the 40.
Off the pill. Move. Wait. Go. Good 10.
And this is Gallen.
4. Stand up, Alec. Hold square.
And Sumner
Outside chase.
off his left there.
13.
That's just going to run into touch here. I think, it's not a bad kick. Off after a try. Just prod it down into the corner and make them work it away.
Yeah, I think Macquarie would be pretty happy with that set of 6. See Cessnock try and play it out of their end, which they've been trying to do. I think for Cessnock, if you're Craig Miller, you just want them to complete a set and try and build a bit of pressure, try and get Macquarie down at their own end, which they haven't had. To be fair to Cessnock, they haven't had a crack at Macquarie's line yet. So it'd be interesting to see if they can just get through the set, build a bit of pressure, and get down there for a crack, because they certainly got the talent in the halves to really cause a lot of dramas. And I think Holland at the back was really good against Maitland, so I think as well he could cause a handful close to the line.
Well, it's the old thing, isn't it? With plays like that from Macquarie, give them the ball where you want them to have it. And Cessnock now have to bring it back. And that's a good run. That looks like that might be the 14 on for Cessnock, or the 15 possibly. Yeah, it might be Noah Easton who's come on. And now he's 4 and he's busted through one. And up over the 40.
Macquarie all the way.
Oh, claims of an elbow down there from the crowd. They're not happy with it, and Foran's going to stay down. There's a bit of invective coming from the grandstand and the press box for that matter. Now there's a bit of stench on. Hello.
Don't or you sit down. Don't or you
Yeah.
sit down.
And the Armada comes from out on the right-hand side of the field.
No.
Oh,
Adam, walk away.
no.
Adam,
I think it's all.
take him away. Take him away.
I think it's all threats at this stage.
Tease, off you go.
Yeah, just a mothers' meeting by the looks of it. A few nice words exchanged, but I don't
We're
think
going to have a
it's,
replay of this, I think. Let's have a look what happened here. See if we can see any elbow. He brought the ball forward.
No, listen. Yeah, tease.
Oh, yeah, that'll be the one.
Looks like they're all
Certainly a
fine.
bit of a forearm.
Take it back. Take it back.
Over the
Oi,
top.
Oi. Hey, can you take it back behind the line, Sean, please? Just take mine.
I don't know if Touch Judge Aylett has anything to say about it.
Thanks.
She certainly didn't come flying in with the flag, so maybe they're going to penalise Foran here for going on with it.
Play the ball.
And
Yep, seems that way.
No, it was his head.
Oh no, we're just going to pretend it didn't happen and have a play the ball.
Hang on, wait.
Well, that's probably fair enough. I mean, there wasn't, unless the referee saw the elbow, there probably wasn't a lot in it. And I certainly didn't see it from up here, so...
certainly Foran he's been pretty strong. A few runs he's had. He doesn't miss any of the hard work. He's had a few really tough runs and has been belted for his troubles.
Yep. Now, he's put that little kick through there, but it's ended up being pretty gentle for Cantor. And he'll bring it back and very inadvisedly ran into a shoulder there from, I think, Alec Fatah.
Hold, go.
And that might be the 5 there. Mitch Manson coming in from the wing. And Jeffrey was looking for work as well, but it's going to be Favielli, I think, coming away.
Hold. Good.
And Macquarie. Josh Schmiedel with the ball now.
Clear the rock. Good.
And he's Camden Sutton. So it's been mostly backs doing the running.
Get off his arm.
4 of the hit-ups in this set have been from backs. And now Macquarie have got a
Bend
penalty.
his arm over the back of his head.
And I think that only heightens the sense of injustice among the Cessnock support.
Yeah, a bit of insult to injury there, especially late in the tackle count to give away a penalty on the 50. Yeah, not the kind of set of 6 that Cessnock would have hoped for, but as well, a lot of these guys, as has been noted to me, it's the rep side selected on Monday, so there'll be a few guys, I guess, trying to put in big performances to get into that final 17 on Monday.
Yeah, my word. It shows how Macquarie are going in this game, that there wasn't a great deal of art about that set, and they made about 45 metres. So here they come now with Sumner, and that looks like Allen, 10 away. And they can kick away to a bit of a lead here if they go left. Here's Sumner, and he's put it down. Yeah, he's put it down. And Cantor thrashes it over the touchline in disgust. And Cessnock, well, they've got away with another one there. They're going to get a scrum feed. But there's a bit in this game already, as there often is between these teams. It's not often these teams play, and there's not a bit of stench about it somewhere along the line. It's come a bit earlier than we might have expected, though.
Yeah, the few games I've seen of Cessnock and Macquarie over the years, it's always not traditional local rivals by any means, separated by the Wadigans, and but you still get a bit of feeling in the games, a lot of feeling, and this is proving no different, I don't think.
Dan, come on, Dan.
Well, we have the slapstick fast that is the modern scrum taking place out there, and eventually Sean Metcalf gets it. That's a one-on-one steal. He's under the post. Oh, hello. Well, Josh Schmiedel has just taken that off Metcalf one-on-one and strolled over untouched. Goodness gracious me, I think we'll have to have a replay of that. It was a simple hit up off the scrum. Metcalf took it up, and all of a sudden he didn't have the ball anymore.
Well, it was the slapstick of as you said, the modern scrum, and then a one-on-one strip that close to the line. Very, very, very bizarre circumstances. I'll be interested to see what actually happened there.
Let's have a look at the replay. So Metcalf took it up. Oh, there were 2 in the tackle. Well, this is only going to heighten the sense of injustice among the Cessnock fans. That was pretty blatantly 2 in the tackle there.
Yeah, I can imagine if there was a big screen here displaying that footage, there would be a lot of disgruntled Cessnock fans, or more disgruntled fans, after a few calls not going their way. But yeah, certainly I thought there was two in the tackle there. Cessnock very unfortunate.
Well, the captain, Alec Fatah, is still having a bit of a confab with the referee. Now Geordie Connolly's come over. I'm sure he's offering some constructive criticism.
Yeah, I can imagine it's all in nice terms and clear and calm.
Well, those sort of things are bizarre at the best of times, but when they're also illegal, well, these are the things that happen. So it's about to be 10-0 in this game. And even though that try might have been a bit shonky, it still pretty much reflects the balance of the game.
Yeah, it certainly does. I think Macquarie's had all the running so far. They've certainly had, I would say, the majority of the possession, and certainly the majority of the possession in Cessnock's half. I think Cessnock will just be looking for one set to try and build a bit of pressure down the other end. They certainly even had a fair old crack at the Macquarie defence. So. Look, not too far to come back. They're only 10-0 down, but certainly reflects the balance of the game at this stage.
Yeah, I think that's about right. So Cessnock, 15 minutes left in the first half, find themselves 10-0 down, and that kickoff is, oh dear, I think they're going to say knocked back. Well. Oh, there's going to be civil unrest here in a minute. Camden Sutton it was, who got a bit of a fumble on it. They've come up with the ball, Macquarie, and the referee says play on. It was a good kickoff. It was speared in there. I thought it was heading for the in-goal line, but Macquarie hang on to the ball.
Yeah, any more 50-50 calls, and some peacekeeping forces might need to be sent, because there's a lot of calls going against Cessnock here. It's certainly upsetting the majority Cessnock support here today.
Look, it's not a huge crowd here today, but the people who do come when it's not a huge crowd tend to be the loudest and the most emotionally invested. Now that ball's come out, and they're going to give a knock on. And the sarcastic cheer from the crowd there. Cessnock. They're going to get the ball.
Long overdue. But look, here's Cessnock's chance. They haven't had a chance to have a crack at the Macquarie line, and here's a perfect opportunity. 30 out, dead centre of the field. Let's see what Foran and Heta can mastermind, I guess, here.
Well, Heta's feeding the scrum. This is what I mean about the modern scrum. You've got the 5'8" feeding the scrum and the halfback standing at 5'8". Anyhow, here he comes. Here's Foran out the back there to Holland. And he's wrestled to the ground there. There's plenty of vigour in the tackles. I think Favielli there went on with it a bit. And now here's Noah Easton. And they're looking right, and it's going to be Halad. And he's looking to pass, thought better of it. They're well set out both sides here. Foran's on the left. That's the way they go. And he gives it short to Fatah. Driving for the line. He's taken down in a good tackle. Macquarie have come up with the ball, and it's a knock on. Josh Schmiedel it was who picked it up. They went for that short ball close to the line rather than going out the back. And Macquarie get it back again.
Yeah, Cessnock blown their real first opportunity there. They look like they were spreading out here to the right for quite a big play with Heta and Foran. But again, Barney Mirror I think be very disappointed they couldn't get to their kick there.
So Macquarie start again. Here's Royce Jeffrey. He's been running hard out there. He hasn't had much ball in attack close to the line, but he's been doing more than his bit coming away from their own end. And now here's a dummy. And a good run there from Simon Allen. And now out the back they go, Gallen and Swaddling. It's been that same few players in the forwards for a few years at Macquarie now, doing the same job, carting it up, making the ground, and giving the back something to work with. And here's one of the, dare I say, heroes of the last game. Joe Woodbury scored a couple of tries late on, and he's brought that one back. I think his first touch of the game.
Heidi, stand. Hold square here. All the way. Go.
And now here's Alec Fatah. And this time he's got a bit of a step on.
Mark and move 9.
Stevens, who's still on the field, now away to Connolly. And he's stepping. He's got this stepping, weaving, awkward way of running, doesn't
Yeah,
he?
very similar to like a Jason Nightingale. Very hard to stop, and he doesn't not the biggest player by any on the field, but certainly hard to stop and breaks a lot of tackles. Connolly.
Well, here goes Willie Hatter on last tackle. He's been taken down, but I tell you what, before that, Brett Stevens got absolutely clouted by Swaddling and Favielli. Very heavy defence from Macquarie, and that's what you expect when you play them.
Wait. We're going to get ourselves set.
But again, a bit of disappointment there. I think they rushed Hatter and forced him to run, which can be dangerous, but on that time they were able to encircle him, and Macquarie get a pretty soft restart in the end through the play the ball.
He's down now, showing up.
Yeah, it looks as though Danny Vaughan hasn't been cited again. I imagine that that injury looked pretty serious, and I can't see him coming back. But we'll try and find that out at half time, the extent of his injury, because he is obviously such a key player for Macquarie.
Here's Moran back inside. That's the 11. That's Josh Schmiedel, the try scorer, or the most recent try scorer.
On the line, make the line.
Hides into dummy half. Out there to Gallen, lovely ball, Sumner. Sumner's going to chase this through. Holland's got to watch his back. It's trickling, dead ball.
It is, Rico.
Intricate little bit of work there from between Gallen and Sumner. Gallen coming back in and throwing the ball to Sumner, but only just a little bit too heavy. He was almost there, Sumner. It was an interesting little play, but let's see if Macquarie can get their set of six and get a good kick in.
Yeah, the Macquarie forwards don't mind. Oh, there's a knock on in the play the ball for Cessnock. Dear, oh dear. I was about to say the Macquarie forwards don't mind passing the ball, and there's few things more dangerous in rugby league. They attract attention when they cut it up, and then they create space if they can get it away, and that's what they've tried to do so far today, and they're going to have another chance here, starting to set 30 out centre field.
Yeah, they've just kicked themselves in the foot. Shot themselves in the foot, I should say.
Kicked themselves in the foot
would be very interesting, wouldn't it? Cessnock just constantly turning the ball over. I think Barney Mill will be happy to get them into the sheds at half time with 9 to go, and I think the riot act will be read. Very intricate play there from
Good play,
Sumner.
very good play. Here's Cantor. They're off down the left. He's going to beat a couple of tackles. I think he's going to score. He's certainly close to the line. Has he got it down? There'll be an inquiry here.
We've got the touchy giving the thumbs up.
Yeah, I think I saw a nod from Mr. Ricketts. He's going to give it. A try to Macquarie. They've worked it off the scrum, gone out to the left, and Nathan Cantor out of position out there on the wing. It must have been a set play in the number 1, and he goes over and scores.
Yeah, again, Sumner there with a bit of intricate back and forth between, I think, him and it might have been Moran, but opened it up quite easily and just beat a few defenders, and the winger got over there quite comfortably. Just too big and too strong.
Yeah, well, here it is on the replay. It was, like you said, a bit of intricate play.
Sumner and the 5 in
Mitch
Manson.
Manson, yeah. And Cantor still had a bit of work to do.
And the touchy was pretty confident. They gave the big nod. He wasn't.
He was adamant, wasn't he?
Yeah, he certainly wasn't thinking about that twice.
Greg Ricketts, I understand, a bit of a fan favourite as a linesman. But there you go. Try over in the corner, 14-0 to Macquarie. Well, on the form of the first couple of weeks, it's a pretty position. You might have thought that this was going to be a pretty close game, and maybe Cessnock to get the better of it. I don't think you would have predicted Macquarie to be 14 or possibly 16 blot in front in the first half.
I think it's just been the nature of the competition so far. It's very hard at this. I know this is only the third game, but the form line of a few of the teams has been very, very difficult to pick. I think a lot of people would have picked Wests to probably go maybe to get another win up, another premiership. But again, they're knocked off first round by Cessnock, and yeah, it's very, very strange. And
here's Moran with the kick. No, he hasn't kicked it now, though. We're giving him a bit down there. The old whack is just sort of thumping up against the fence. I'd love to see some sort of empirical data on how often that actually works. But on that occasion, whether it was the thumping on the fence or just the aptitude of the kicker, the try was not converted. Well, that's right. Try not converted, so 14-0. Cessnock are probably lucky that a few kicks have been missed here. We nearly had a bit of comedy capers off the kick-off again there. As Hyde scampered out of the way. But Macquarie have got it again. And for Cessnock, it's a pretty simple game. You can't score tries if you don't have the ball.
Hold. 14 shoot.
Now that looks like the new man onto the field, Isaac Briggs, in 18, who got up griping about that tackle. So they're using their substitutes. Now here's Royce Jeffrey. He's carted it up again.
Yeah, he's been terrific so far. He's really got busy coming in and assisting the forwards.
Well, I know he's been playing in the centres, but he's basically done the job of a forward today. He hasn't got the ball out there once. He's had to come in and look for it and take hit-ups. But here they come now with Sumner. That's a good kick. Turns them around again. That's what I said before. Give them the ball where you want them to have it. And Macquarie just keep pegging Cessnock in their own end. And a good chase as well. Sumner, he made the chase off his own kick there and made life very difficult for them. Here's Joe Woodbury. Dumping tackle again. They're looking here for Edwards. Haven't had a forward yet for Cessnock. Now we will. There's Alec Fatah still on the field in the second row. He's played 35 minutes already, putting in a good shift. Now the 14's into dummy half there, Cohen King, which probably means Brett Stevens is off. Now that's a good little kick from Foran, and Jared Edwards is onto it, and he got the fumbles, and now they can turn around and go the other way. And Sutton beats a couple of tackles. It was a good little kick, well weighted from Foran, but those ones can be very awkward to pick up. And Edwards, he's a big man. He had to reach down and just got the fumbles.
Yeah, really needed the favourable bounce there. It didn't really come, but good little play there from Foran.
Something a bit different. Now they're going wide. Now it's all on. Jeffrey, great ball. They're off again here. It's Mitch Manson. He's going to have enough pace, and he's going to run away and score in the corner. Well, they got it wide early. Cessnock weren't expecting that. They were compressed in the defence, and Manson's gone and scored in the corner. And this is starting to get a bit ugly. 18-0, kick to come, 5 minutes to go in the second half, and in the first half, pardon me. And well, it's Macquarie's game so far.
Yes,
fourth try of the day.
Had way too much pace there. If we look at the replay, he just streaked away quite easily there. He certainly never looked like being caught once he got out into the open there. Mitch Manson did it very easily in the end. But look, disappointing again for Cessnock to probably They tried something different, didn't really get the bounce favourable to them, and then, to quite easily done here by Macquarie.
Let's have a look at
Good
the
ball
replay.
by Gallen there.
Gallen again passing the ball. The new man on the field. Bovis threw one as well, and from there, Manson was always favourite.
Yeah, too quick there for Metcalf in the centres, but look, pretty easily done there. We noted earlier in the game down the right they looked quite dangerous. Macquarie with Moran and the Sutton on the wing and Favaeli in the centres. They a few overlaps early on in the game, but now on the left they've gone 2 from 2 with the overlap. Here we go. Here's your empirical data.
Well,
let's see if it works.
Let's see if he kicks it. If not, then those lads down there need to get a contract. Maybe the club could pay them to come and do this every week. Here comes Moran. He's got the weight of medical science on his back here. Coming in.
Oh, it doesn't look good.
No, I don't think so.
And
he's not quite getting enough on them. That one landed under the crossbar. So that's it's 3 from 4. If he'd have kicked all his goals, they'd be 24-0 in front.
And can I just say it's 2 from 2 for the lads there on the hill banging the signs. I think Cessnock will need to send a couple cans of Coke out there later in the day.
Well, it's experimentation out here today. Now down goes the kick-off. That's the hooker Chris Hyde under it. And they're going to spread it straight away here with Nathan Cantor. They've got a bit of confidence up here, Macquarie. And every time they get the ball, they're trying to get it wide. And that of course, can go too far, but it's working for them at the moment. That's the first hit up for Tim Bovis, who threw a very good pass led into that last try. And now here's Hyde, and that's... well, he threw that. That was like a frisbee. It went fizzing out there.
Probably didn't need that. If they could have just consolidated and got to the half there, they'd be very happy getting up 18-0. They've had the weight of possession and the weight of the running so far. So I think probably just overplaying their hand there. But good chance for Cessnock here to get 6 back. And I think if they go in 18-4, 18-6, I think Craig Mill will be pretty happy with that, because they certainly haven't really put much on Macquarie this first half.
Here's 4 and away to Edwards, and they're going to try them straight away. They, as I just said, they might do. They over-egged it, coming off their own end there, Macquarie, and they may pay. Here's Noah Easton, centre field.
Mark around 16, move in! Behind the line.
And then looking out to the right here, it's building up with Heta. Hasn't been as involved as Foran so far in the game. Here's Connolly.
Bumping
He's
away.
evasive. He's not a particularly bulky player, but he can bust a tackle. Makes himself very hard to get hold of. Now here's Foran. He's thrown the ball to himself, done the old Benji. Now here's Holland, and he's just held on to that as Jared Edwards. He had the fumbles, held on. They're right over there in the corner. The whole field to work the ball into. Halad. Out to Foran, intercept. Turn it over again, and Sumner, well, he's been everywhere today. He's been kicking, he's been making tackles off his own kicks, and now he's taking intercepts. And they're out of jail again, Macquarie, with a minute and 15 seconds to go in this first half.
Been very busy, Sumner. He's been probably near on the best on the field, I think, for Macquarie. Just getting to the kicks, very good on that left foot, turning the back three around for Cessnock. I think he's been near on best on the ground.
And here's Blake Gallen. He's trying to pass it again here. They might try and put another one on here because they've got numbers wide again. But this time it's knocked down by Heta, and that's probably a lucky thing for Cessnock because, again, they had a few acres to run into, and that will probably signal the end of the first half because generally how these things go when there's less than a minute left on the clock is that they call a bit of a truce. Everyone gathers at the scrum, pretends to be interested in packing it, and then the siren goes. Let's have a look what happens.
Yeah, a few silly buggers, a few... I don't think we'll... You never know, though. You never know.
Well, Macquarie, they might want to have another go here. 20 seconds left. Sure enough, they go wide. Royce Jeffrey stuck it on the boot, and that's going to end up...
I think that will be the end of the half.
I think that'll be the end of the half because they'll have to retrieve the ball out of the creek. But there you go. That'll be your first half. Macquarie, they've scored 4 tries here today, and they lead the game 18 points to 0 as the siren goes in the background. They've had the better of it. They've had the more ball, not least because Cessnock kept giving it to them. And they've got plenty of work to do, the Goeies, in the second half. As we go to the break, we're going to be hearing from some of the Macquarie players. We've got a bit of a feature that Pete Jolly put together earlier in the season. And as we go to the break, it's Macquarie 18, Cessnock 0.
Well, I'm here with Macquarie Scorpions coach Barry Moore. Barry, thanks for having us at training, mate.
No problem at all, Peter.
Mate, 2015, what can we expect from the Scorpions?
I'd like to think we can have a good run without injury. We've put some measures in place to combat that, I hope. We never come back before Christmas. We started mid-January. We're having 4 trials. I don't expect everyone to play in all of the trials. And with Toronto Pool has come on board, and we'll be doing Monday rehab sessions down there, and the manager down there will run the rehab sessions for us.
Mate, you touched on their injuries. I guess that was a big factor at the back end of last season. How's everybody shaping up so far?
Yeah, everyone that was injured at the end of last year are back. We lost our 2 wingers. They've gone to Liam Meacham's working in Sydney. He broke his jaw in the last game against Cessnock last year, and Houston has moved only this week to Western Australia to work. So we lost both of them, but everyone else is back on board and pretty fresh and keen.
Mate, the last 3 years you've been in the top 5. Obviously, looking to go a few better this year, grand final day. Every coach dreams for it. I guess it's not an unrealistic expectation this year here at Macquarie.
No, we don't get ahead of ourselves though. As I said, the last couple of years we've had a lot of injuries, but touch wood, hopefully we've got some depth now. I brought 6 new blokes to the club and to strengthen some positions. Young fellow Mitch Manson from Manly, he's a fullback, can play on the wing, so that strengthens up the fullback position. Thiessen, Father Eli, he's come over from South Newcastle, he'll strengthen our centres. And we've picked up Jared Flack and Tim Bovis from the Central Coast. Timmy's a back rower, can play 5'8", and Flacky's a winger. So, we've strengthened the positions where we needed to, and a fair bit of depth now.
All righty, good luck for the season ahead, and we'll catch up with you throughout the year.
Thanks very much, Peter.
And that's only when Cessnock reacted. If it was a genuine high tackle, it would have been on at that point of contact. And Thiessen, to his credit, when he came over and said, oh, look at my head, look at the bump. I said, oh, mate, your head looks like that all. Thiessen come over and said, oh, look at my head. I said, mate, your head could look like that all the time, I don't know. But he had blood on his head. And that's what...
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
Swimming,
basketball,
Netball,
and athletics.
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.
Here's your story, let's begin. The water's fine, come on, dive in. The future's here, it's right before your eyes. Step by step, you're on your way. Welcome to a brighter day. Don't you know it feels good to be alive? You could be larger than life, bigger than the world, living out the hopes and dreams of every boy and every girl. You could fly higher than the sky, shine brighter than the stars. You could have all you ever wanted, shoot the moon and reach for Mars. You know you could.
But I was watching Alec afterwards. He holds the ball like that, like he doesn't.
Cessnock were off the...
Well, welcome back to Cessnock Sports Ground, the pride of regional New South Wales, and we've got the score here at halftime: Macquarie 18, Cessnock 0, and it's a bit of an upset on the it's looming at the moment, but we've just had a very entertaining piece of halftime colour and movement. We had on the one hand we had the cheer squad going on the one hand, and the kick for cash. Someone just came very short of winning $500, and I should mention also at the top of this second half that we should thank the Cessnock Club because they very generously put in some facilities to help with the Bar TV broadcast here today, and they're the first club in the real NRL to do so. So I know our technical people are very, very grateful. But Matthew Peterson, as we come back for the second half, what do you think Cessnock need to do? I think the answer is going to be pretty simple. But what do you think Cessnock need to do if they're going to win the game?
Well, one, score points, and two, but to score the points, I think too, they just need to hold on to the ball. We said it in round two. They dropped a lot of ball, haven't been able to hold on to it, haven't been able to really even have a crack at the Macquarie. I reckon in the count, I think 2 sets of 6 down in Macquarie's 20. But look, maybe this huge gale that's blowing today, that maybe running with the breeze in this second half, Cessnock might be a bit better off.
Well, if they can get an advantage out of this breeze, they're better men than me. Because I'm looking at the trees and they are perfectly sedate.
Oh, it's very sedate.
Yeah, it's a beautiful day. I think I'm grateful that we're in this commentary box rather than out in the crowd because it's going to get a bit chilly shortly, the 4 o'clock chill. But apart from that, I think it's going to be pretty chilly in the Cessnock dressing room at the moment.
Yeah, I can imagine Craig Miller's giving a bit of dressing down because they haven't really shown too much more than they did against Maitland. I thought they were very lucky to come away with a draw against Maitland. Obviously, they fought very hard in that second part of the second half to get back up and to level the game. But I think for both sides, a few standouts. I think Sumner's been really good for Macquarie. His kicking game's been on the money. He's turned the back three around for Cessnock on a number of occasions, and having a left foot kicker, obviously. It helps with Mick Moran on the right doing part of the kicking as well. But I thought he's been good. I think most likely for Cessnock at the moment, I think it's Geordie Connolly. We said it last week. We said it last round. Very dangerous. He's not a big guy, but he's certainly hard to stop. And I think if they can get him a bit more ball, that he'll certainly be a handful. And I think he could cause a lot of damage for Macquarie.
I think it's easy to, as much as we've said that Cessnock aren't going too well today, it would be easy to put all the blame or all the responsibility for this scoreline with them. But I think Macquarie have had plenty to do with it too. They've been chucking the ball around, throwing a lot at them, and as the children get shooed off the ground here, I think we're almost ready to play. But Macquarie have had the better of it. I mean, notwithstanding the fact that Cessnock haven't played very well, Macquarie have been eager. The only problem today could be there's two problems today. We've got a little toddler out there on the field at the moment who you can probably see, whose brother is about to tell her to get off the field. There we go. Oh, that's lovely.
She doesn't want to go. She doesn't really want to go. She wants to stay out there.
I can't blame her.
I think a few of the Macquarie boys would try and dance around, running at her. I'd imagine, but they're off. They're getting off the field now. But look. We'll have to find out, see if the prognosis on Denny Vaughan. I didn't look too good.
I don't think
it looked like he was clutching at his arm and perhaps a broken arm. It didn't look very, very good. But big half here for Cessnock. They really need to show something. And if it's anything like the second half against Maitland, we're in for a cracker because that was a tremendous finish. That second half of that Maitland Cessnock game. But I think Macquarie will just be looking to not change too much. I thought they were pretty clinical. They didn't do a lot wrong.
The only risk for Macquarie, I think, is if they, like they threatened to at the end of the first half, if they just go overboard. I'm sure the coach said, look, use the ball, spread the ball, but don't go silly. Now, very heartwarming scene here. We've had the little girls made away off the field with some assistance from someone who I assume is a little brother. And all's in readiness for the second half. 18-0 here, Macquarie over Central on Bar TV. Thank you for joining us. And we're ready to go.
And to recap those try scorers, it's Favo Ali scored, was the first try. Then the second row for Macquarie, who pinched the ball 10 metres out. Schmeidel, Cantor and Manson were the try scorers for Macquarie.
So we're away for the second half. And Cessnock bringing it back with vigour already. And Noah Easton's turned it over. Off the kickoff. Well, the referee thought about it. He was thinking penalty. Was it going to be a penalty? Was it going to be a knock-on? He settled on a knock-on. And, I think this is what happened in the last round, that Cessnock got the raz at half-time and then went out and spilled it off the kickoff. So Macquarie here, first 30 seconds of the second half, we've got a set 20 out.
Yeah, exactly. No, pretty obvious. Not the start that Cessnock wanted at all. Very, very disappointing. I think Craig will be, he won't be happy at all.
I wouldn't imagine. Now here's Jeffrey. He's got up and played that ball. Now the 16, Tim Bovis. He had a couple of nice touches in his limited involvement in the first half. And now there's a bit of scrap out there. And here's Sumner out the back. Moran, they've got it lined up again here. And Cantor's got numbers. They're going to score in the corner. It's Favo Ali. Well, nothing's changed in the second half so far. Macquarie are over in the corner. 22-0 with a kick to come. They've scored their 5th try. And it's 90 seconds into the second half. I reckon that might be the closest we can get to a disaster for Cessnock here today.
Yeah, again, too easy. Just hands out wide, and just with the overlap again, they've I think that's 3 or 4 tries that have come in that fashion, but not a lot really going on. Just good hands out from the halves, and just Fave just too big and too strong, and barged his way over.
Yeah, that's right. There was a bit of craft there, a good decoy run, which made some of the difference there from Matt Hay. But Fave, it's the same story. When you've got a bloke that size and you've got the defenders going backwards, there's always going to be trouble. Now, if you're interested in the score from the other game, I'm about to tell you. If you don't want to know the score in the other game, this might be the time to start sort of rubbing the side of your head or something. Here it is. Lakes 20, Maitland 6 at half time. So that's a big result. That shows that Lakes have that the early season form wasn't an aberration, you'd have to say.
Yeah, and Maitland, I thought, have been pretty good at a couple really big signings for them, and they've looked really good in round 2. So I think this is showing that Lakes isn't just going to be a flash in the pan. I think they're going to be right at the money end come the end of the season. But in other news, and some disappointing news, I guess, for the Scorps, Denny Vaughan won't be back today. Suspected broken arm. So that's a big. It's obviously a big issue for them coming for later in the season, because obviously it's going to be quite an extensive time out with that, and he's such a crucial player for Macquarie for a number of years, and one of the better forwards running around in the Newcastle competition. So that's very disappointing for them.
Yeah, it certainly is. They did all right without him in the first half, but it's a bit different week to week. Now, I mentioned that score from Lakes and Maitland earlier. You can catch that game if you want to see what happened, if you either just listen to me tell you the score or threw the earphones away and discussed. Either way, you can watch that game on Bar TV on delay, either later tonight or tomorrow, as Macquarie bring the ball away. And that might have been a spill in there. Yes, it was. Well, it's a bit of a square up. Macquarie this time bringing it out from their own end. And they traditionally refer to those as coach killers, don't they? When you score a try and then drop the ball.
Well, yeah, I think it would be. It certainly isn't. Again, the start that they want to the set of 6, but they just don't have to get. They just can't get complacent. I don't think in Macquarie. I think Cessnock showed last week they can score points. They can score points in a hurry. That last 10-15 minutes.
Here they go, Jared Edwards.
They can score a lot of points, so I wouldn't put it past Cessnock.
He's foreign. They're on here. Oh, the intercept! Look out! And he's away. I think it might be Camden Sutton. He's off down the touchline. He's going to score. Metcalf's coming, but he's not going to get him. Oh, hang on. He's come back inside, but he steps past him, goes for the touchline, gets the ball down. Macquarie 26-0. Cessnock get a look at the other end. And, Macquarie have gone 100 metres.
Well,
that's the sort of day that it's been.
Well, if that's a coach killer, we might get a replay of that. We're getting that he may have spilled it, but
the try's been awarded.
Yeah, the try has been awarded. But if that was a coach killer from Macquarie off the kickoff, I'm not sure what that is for Cessnock. I think the coach killer and backroom assisting staff as well. That was dreadful. That intercept so early on in the tackle count. But,
you can see what he was trying to do. You definitely see what he was trying to do. He took the ball high above his head, regathered, and off he went.
Plenty of pace here too,
yeah.
From Sutton.
Metcalf was deceptively quick, I must say, coming from the other side of the field. He got back inside. I thought he was home. And he went to the corner. Try. Well, there was no drama there. He got it down cleanly. 26-0. Dear, oh dear. So Camden Sutton with the try in the number 2. Showed plenty of pace. And, Moran's kicking's probably kept Cessnock closer than they otherwise would be, because they have scored 6 tries here today, Macquarie. But he's setting up again.
Let's see. It looks like there's a few guys coming down from the hill. Let's see if we can get some more.
Some
more study on this.
Yes, on the effects of fence bashing. I can see you publishing a PhD on this.
Oh, look, I might take this to the Newcastle University if there's anybody out there listening that wishes to fund such a research project.
Maybe the CSIRO would be interested.
Yeah, why not? Why not?
Here's Mick Moran. Well, they're not doing anything yet. Maybe they're just running a spoiler. Maybe they're Macquarie fans down there.
Yeah, just protecting that signboard.
Yeah, that might be it. 'Cause there's not a peep being made. And sure enough, the kick goes... Well, it's still missed. 26-0.
Conversion again unsuccessful. Takes the score to Macquarie 26. Cessnock yet to score.
Well, you could put a bit of that one down to luck, but Macquarie... Well, they've skipped away here. Starting to get a bit desperate for Cessnock. Time enough if good enough, but still plenty to do. And away come Macquarie again. And that might be yes.
The big question's going to be if Cessnock can't crack the score. What happens with our daily doubles?
Well, I think in days gone by, the double, if nobody scored, it went to the 9. Because in the old days, the hooker never scored. But it's a bit different today, but I'm not sure if that's still how it works. I think it might vary from club to club. Here's Royce Jeffrey bringing it forward.
Wait, go.
And that's a good charge. That's a beauty. And, well, Brett Stevens it was Simon Allen with the run. Brett Stevens was on his back, but he was basically being taken for the ride. You'd almost need to buy a ticket for that tackle. Now here goes Joe Woodbury, tracing this one back, picked it up on the fly. Good skillful pickup, but by the time he picked it up and turned around, there wasn't much he could do.
Yeah, perfect set of 6 there from Macquarie. Some really strong runs. Allen there he's had a few really barnstorming runs, and that one he carried Brett Stevens on his back, on Allen's back for about 10-15 metres. Terrific run.
Well, it's been the same story for Macquarie today. When their handling hasn't been perfect, but when they have held it, their kicks have been terrific. Now, this is all going a bit spare here for Cessnock. The ball comes spitting out the back, and Connolly had to fall on it. Well, it wasn't Connolly because he's now got the ball. It might have been Stevens. But anyway, it's the crowd are getting a bit restless here. This is not what they expected from their newly assembled football team. Now, here's Stevens. He's going to kick, and this one's going to pitch, and it might be a bit awkward for the fullback. It's gone past him. It's picked up over there by Sutton, who's probably still catching his breath, you'd imagine. And Macquarie can start again. But you look at the difference in where Cessnock are giving Macquarie the ball and where Macquarie are giving it to Cessnock. And the Scorps here were able to start a set from 30 out from their own line. Now here's Favielli. He's causing chaos out there today. He's just too big and too strong.
Liam, stand! Hold, go.
Moran, Sumner, dummies, or Shepherd. Nah, they can't let that go, can they? Well, they're going to play on here. Here's Sumner again. He's gone. He's off down the wing. There's a kick in field. Macquarie are going to get the ball back, and it'll be 6 to go. I think it'll be 6 to go.
I think Allen gave it up.
No, it's last tackle still. But yeah, he did give it up. Everybody stopped, and Sumner thought, well, I'll just play on here and see what happens. Now here's a kick hoisted high. Woodbury gets above very, very well indeed. That sort of take would have made Michael Jordan proud, reaching up high like that. And now here he goes again and takes it forward. He's built like a basketballer, Joe Woodbury, even though he plays on the wing. He's very tall, and from what we've seen of him so far this year, very good in the air. Here's Connolly. Cessnock starting to use the ball a bit now. They've got no choice.
Move! Hold, go.
And here's Halad. And he steps. He's quite an evasive runner as well. I think that's borne out in the fact that he's made about 10 metres there.
Clear the rock.
They spread out to the right. Now here's the 16. I don't think he's had a touch yet today, Sam Apthorpe. That wasn't a bad one. Took it forward keenly. Hetter's looking here and eyeing things off. He goes out wide there to Easton. And now here bobbing up on the other side of the field is the 5 there, Brendan Williams. And now Metcalf's got it. And he goes down in the tackle. Last tackle here. What can they come up with? Header gives it to Foran. Foran's looking out wide. They're going to throw it. And they had to have quick hands there. And Fata didn't have time to do much. And now Edwards lands on it. It's still last, I think, is it? No, they're saying it's been played and it might not matter if he makes a bust. But they're 25 out and they're going to get a second set. So maybe that was a bit of luck that they needed. Here's Foran. Out there, there's Stevens turning up at second receiver. Not where he would have expected to be.
Make the line. Hold.
And Holland's into dummy half. Foran out to Metcalf. And Metcalf runs straight and hard, takes plenty of ground off them.
2. Clear the rock out of the pill.
And they're looking right and they're looking left. They go left. Foran inside. Halad, it opened up a bit.
Off his leg. Stand 15.
And now they're going right. Hetter's going to get involved here. There he goes. Long ball over the top. It's not a bad one. If Metcalf can take it, he bumps, he thumps, he scores. His foot might have been in touch. What's going to happen here? Ricketts is looking at Aylett. No. It's 26-4. Cessnock are on the board. The double can pay out, and they might be on the way.
Yeah, good hands. Good stuff there from Metcalf. It wasn't an easy ball to end up taking. It bounced in front of him. It could have bounced up and gone anywhere, but he managed to control it well. And just big guy out there in the centre, standing on the wing actually for last couple sets, and just too big and too strong. And the Macquarie players couldn't knock him over.
Well, as we look at the replay here, I think they crowded in a little bit. They were very compressed in the Macquarie defence and really forced Hatter to throw the ball like that. But Metcalf, he had to wait, had to be patient, picked it up, and much like Tavielli at the other end of the field, just too strong from that close.
He's certainly one of the bigger guys standing on the wing, Metcalf. I don't think there'd be too many guys that big and that strong floating about on the wing, but look, at least gets Cessnock gets them within striking distance with half an hour to go. 4 tries. It's not. They did it a few weeks ago. I wouldn't put it past them, but the way they've played today, it's certainly going to be a hard ask to score 4 more times. But a long time to go in this game, and they've certainly got the class on the field to at least give Macquarie a scare over this next 20-25 minutes.
Well, they're going much like Macquarie. Cessnock are going up in 4s as the kick was missed. Now, last week, I keep saying last week, it's going to be a recurring problem in this year's competition. Yeah, in that match in round 2, Cessnock started playing their best when they had nothing to lose and started chucking it around, basically because they had no choice. And they've got more time today than they had then, but more points to chase. There's the kick. Foran takes a heavy touch. I don't think Chelsea will be calling. And Mark White brings it back.
Yeah, certainly not the touches you saw here when the Japanese were training and playing here 4 or 5 months ago. Certainly wasn't in that realm, was it?
That was seamless. But no, you're absolutely right. But here's Brendan Halad. The pitch, I must say, from what it was that day to what it is now, there hasn't been much difference. It's held up very well despite the weather and everything else. Here's Connolly, and he straightens the attack. And they're using the ball, spreading it wide down the short. Here's Metcalf. He was always going to win that one-on-one with Hyde, and now they're off, and the other Metcalf's off down the wing, and it might be on here. He's got a boot on it, but it's going to be taken by Cantor, and now Cantor can go on a raid. But a little bit of enterprise from Cessnock all of a sudden with 25 minutes to go.
And Macquarie are going to have a tough set of 6 out of here. This is where Cessnock haven't had them for most of the game. They need to get them down their end and really working hard out. So it wasn't actually a bad end to the set. It was a good enterprising play, as you said, from Metcalf there. Almost got it over the fullback there.
Yeah, I think he was just being held back, and that sort of meant that he couldn't put much power on the kick. Now, we've had a hold up here. The mark, walking off the mark. Yeah, it's a referee's favourite, that one. And away we go again. He's swaddling back on the field.
Head off the ball, stand.
And that looked like a bit of a forward pass there. Down there to Tim Bovis, but it all goes on. Read about it in the paper tomorrow. Sumner puts a little kick over it, and Mark White. Well, it was either Mark White or Alex Jezelenko, one or the other. But either way, Cessnock have got the ball. What a take that was!
That was fantastic.
If you can, prop forward, reaching up like that, fantastic.
Yeah, it wouldn't be out of place in the AFL, was it? Very, very agile from Mark White there.
And here's Brendan Halad. The next 2 tackles haven't really lived up to it. Now here's Metcalf. Well, it was going to be Metcalf. Header's gone himself. It's still a good physical contest out there. Macquarie attack. Get hurt. Here's Foran. Got to conjure something here. Long ball over the top. And Woodbury had a tough ask there, but it might have all gone back. No, it didn't. Not according to the referee anyway. And his is the opinion that matters.
Yeah, not much really going on there for Cessnock. A lot of one-out stuff, and then obviously Foran tried quite a big floater out to the left. But yeah, very, very not really enterprising play. I thought that at this stage of the game that you'd be more willing to maybe try a few things. Some pretty basic stuff though. But again, another turnover from Cessnock.
Yeah, well, that one looked a little bit desperate, I must say. Now, what's happening here? There's a hold-up.
Stay there. No, mate, Whitey, take it back to me, please. Take it away. Listen.
Just a bit of a conference again.
It's the modern scrum.
No, listen. Let's not go back there. You're going to talk to me.
Ask them what they bought their mothers for Mother's Day tomorrow. I'd imagine arguing over who got the best present. I'd imagine that's what goes on in the scrum nowadays.
All it needs is a tea and scones. It'll be hard to differentiate between it and the CWA. What's going on here?
Because he's put the jam on before the cream. That's why the refs pulled it up for.
Yep. That's a faux pas.
Hey, take it back. Have some breather. Now we're going to take the scrum.
Oh no, they're not happy.
What is happening?
Someone wants I think the cream on before the jam. I don't know what's happening.
These are
here,
the things that cause trouble at these meetings.
And it's
now, away we
out.
go.
There we go.
Yeah, very good.
Back into the football. Oh,
Mitch Manson there got clouted. Geordie Connolly probably upset that he had to wait 15 minutes to make a tackle. Here they come. Macquarie bringing it back, and that's the 15 on the field. That's Matt Hay. And I think he had been on earlier, but away they come now down the short side. And Hyde busted through a couple. There's a bit of afters in the tackle from Halad. Cessnock might be getting a bit scrappy here. Now Sumner, great ball back inside to Gallen. They're starting to work them up the middle around some tired forwards. Now here's Hyde. Out the back, lovely play. Moran going himself. They've carved them up again. Great ball. Chewy Levy. And now here's Sutton. And they need to stop this raid. But they finally dragged him down over there. Well, they've dragged him somewhere. They haven't necessarily dragged him down. He's still standing up. Plays it out the back. Now here's Moran. And Moran dummies. Little kick. Oh, it could be anyone's. There's hands everywhere. That won't be a try, I don't think, because there was a hand on it, wasn't there?
No, it
wasn't
looks like
there? No, he's given it. Well, there you go. I thought a Macquarie player grasped at that, but instead it's a try, and it's 30-4 here. Dear oh dear. And Cessnock now. Well, they're going to need Steve McQueen to get out of this one.
Yeah, I would like to see the replay on that because there was a lot of hands involved and a lot of bodies in motion there, and I didn't catch a glimpse of that. I thought the Cessnock player might have got some sort of downward pressure in goal, but
let's have a look.
Right?
This will be
so what you just did then was the
beauty of
captain's
replays
okay?
here on Bar TV.
If you don't put me in
The
a
kick went through, and it really was the power ball draw here.
Yeah, 5 metres.
No, I'm a bad judge. There you go. It was off the foot of Kerrod Holland. He was sort of shoved. The ball came off his shins, and I think it was 16 Tim Bovis who got the ball down. So a fair try.
Very good kick there from Mick Moran. I think we've obviously focused on. I think Sumner's has been just about the standout player for Macquarie, but Moran he's a crafty player and has been for Macquarie and I think Maitland previous to that. I think Moran was that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. He, as I mentioned earlier, famously kicked a field goal from about the car park at the number 1 sports ground in extra time to beat Western Suburbs in about 2011. But here he comes. I reckon he'll kick this one. Yep, very nice. 20 minutes to go here, and Macquarie 32 leads Cessnock 4, and I reckon that might have just snuffed out any chance of a Cessnock recovery.
Yeah, they obviously had that huge recovery against Maitland in round 2, but certainly never got up to the point of 28 points with 20 minutes to go. But funny things happening, especially funny things happen here in the world of the real NRL.
Yeah, well, if a fortnight ago was funny, this would be utter hilarity. But anyway, away they come. Macquarie with the ball. They might have had a bit of fortune at various times today through intercepts and a dubious try and whatnot, but they have still been pretty good value for the lead they hold. They've played very well. They've taken risks and they've come out on top. But there's still plenty of time left in this game. And Blake Gallen, he's really toiled away well. He's had enough wherewithal to throw the pass occasionally, and sometimes he's just taken it up, but had a very good game. Here's Sumner into dummy half. He's going to use Gallen again. Is he? No, flat pass, and that one was forward, and if it wasn't forward the pass, then the knock-on certainly was. and Cessnock are going to get this back.
Yeah, certainly probably not the guy you want running onto it in Mick Moran. Not the biggest guy to be hitting onto that. But pretty flat ball there. I would have liked to see a replay on that if he would have caught it to see if it was forward. But yeah, look, they're still throwing the ball about Macquarie. You got to get big raps to them. They haven't certainly gone into their shell at all at any point at this game, even when they were
Heads in.
quite a lot. And here's the replay. It was good enterprise and play by Sumner. I think he's been pretty good.
Yeah, he has. It's Cessnock back on the back live. Cessnock got the ball.
Yeah, probably would have been forward.
Yeah. I must say for Macquarie though, 26 points in front with 18 minutes to go. There's no hint of closing up shop, plugging the corners and taking the win. They're still trying to score points. Now here's Jared Edwards and he's turned it over.
Just on that, I think a lot of it has to do as well with how tight and how fewer games the teams are playing this year, and I think actually a lot of it will come down to point difference that into the final series. But good run, fantastic run there.
Well, I've got to say, of all the things I expected today, with 20 minutes to go, talking about Macquarie worrying about points difference wasn't one of them. But nonetheless, that's where we are. And here's Mitch Manson. It's still been a highly entertaining game, even though they're not the closest, because Macquarie have played some very good football. Now here's Hyde, and away to Gallen. Oh, look at this. This is Hello Chick stuff. They're starting to chuck it around a bit. We've got forwards throwing inside no-look passes. Dear, oh dear. Now here's Sumner with a kick into the corner. And again, the kicks have been very good, and they turned Holland around here. He's going to have a bit of a job. He's going to have a job that he's up to, though. He gets it out. And away they come now. I reckon that's Brendan Williams' second touch. Brendan Williams, pardon me. I reckon that's only his second touch of the game. He hasn't.
He's been very quiet.
Oh, he hasn't got much of a look in out there, I don't think. They haven't used him. Now here's Metcalf, and he charges it up. He always does something when he gets the ball. He always runs hard. Now here's that's Sam Apthorpe. And last tackle, the Cessnock tackle seemed to be evaporating very quickly. Hector goes wide there. It's a low pass to Foran, and in the time he had to pick it up, the Macquarie forwards encircled him, and they're going to get the ball 30 out. And this is starting to look a bit nasty.
Yeah, they certainly have targeted Hector and Foran quite well today. They haven't. The kicking game of Cessnock has been pretty disappointing. They haven't been able to turn around the back three like Macquarie have been able to in Sumner and Moran. But another chance for Macquarie here to get a few more points on the board.
Yeah, that's right. It's Josh Schmiedel again at the centre of the game's most controversial point. But I don't think you could say that it was the cause of the result or anything like that. Now here's a good ball out there to Simon Allen. That's a forward pass. Getting a bit ragged here. Dan Metcalf thought he'd go for a bit of a frolic up forward, but it had already been called. 16 minutes to go in the game. But there's still plenty of room for entertainment here, because Cessnock are going to have to chuck it about, and Macquarie refused to stop chucking it about.
Yeah, well, as we said before, Macquarie haven't. I'm going to die wondering at how many points they can score. They've been willing all game to chuck the ball around. So let's see. I think it's going to be an entertaining 15 minutes, because I think Cessnock aren't going to. There's no point at this stage trying to conserve some sort of and not chuck the ball around. And that's a good start.
Yeah, penalty to Cessnock. It was Joe Woodbury who took it up there. And, they'll be able to launch one downfield, or at least they'll try. It's a ripper of a kick for touch from Liam Foran. He's punched it down to the 40, the Macquarie 40 at that. So they can start an attack here with Mark White, who may well be playing his final game for Cessnock before he goes off to the AFL. I hear North Melbourne and Essendon have expressed interest in the last 15 minutes. Here's Brendan Halad. That's a high tackle.
Let go. I got it.
Well, he'd certainly be a presence on an AFL field. He'd be about the biggest guy running around, but...
yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I think that'll go on the highlight reel. The specky, I'm going to call it.
Well, the great thing about as we look at the replay on this high tackle here.
Brendan.
Oh dear, it was a bit vicious. Mick Moran, he's a much smaller player than Brendan Ladd, and he had to jump and throw the swinging arm. I've seen bigger penalties than a mere free kick for things like that. Now, as I was saying, I can't recall what I was saying now. Oh, that's right.
been that
Mark
kind
White.
of
Yeah,
afternoon.
no, that's right. Bar TV, one of the things about Bar TV is that if you do something like a Mark White specky catch, you know, you can relive it time and again. You can keep watching it on YouTube for years to come, which players of the past wouldn't have been able to do. Now, Cessnock are looking a bit bereft here, but here's Dan Metcalf. And he bumps past one and bumps past another. He's Hatter, and they're a bit jumbled out there now. But here he goes. He's going to step, and he's going to step again. He's pretty powerful, and there's going to be a try for Zeb Dunstan with his first touch. Well, that was pretty handy. He's come onto the field, and he might have scored a try with his first touch. As the referee stops the clock, there was a bit of afters. He's in a bit of trouble, Zeb Dunstan. He's on his knees on the try line, and I reckon, as we watch the replay in a moment, I'm tipping he might have wore one after the event. After he went over for the try. Because he's in a bit of pain and the trainer is out there tending to him. And there's a bit of a conferral happening between the referee and the linesman. The try is going to be awarded, so it's 32-8. Let's have a look at this replay. It was Hatter who had the strength, and he went over, and it might have just been the way he fell in the tackle.
Wait there.
Yeah, just the way he fell in the tackle. So he's trotting back now. Zeb Dunstan, he's okay.
He's had the magic water. The trainer's he's got the magic water. But good try, Willie Hatter. Been a bit quiet today, but sensed an opportunity there, and good ball and good finish from Zeb Dunstan. And
Willie Hatter's missed the kick. So Cessnock, 13 minutes to go, 24 clear points behind. So they're still 4 tries away. Stranger things have happened. Not many, but stranger things have happened. And that was a good try there. It showed what Willie Hatter can do, because he's got that mix of a bit of a step on the one hand, and a bit of strength as well, and the skill to get the pass away. So that might be a sign of better things in the future for Cessnock and their 5'8". But Zeb Dunstan's first input into the game is to score a try. And the coach might be wondering why he didn't bring him on earlier. It's 100% record so far. So away we go again. Foreigns under this. And Mark White, he just does this every single time, whatever stage of the game, catches it and runs hard. Now they are going wide. And that might be Jared Edwards out there in number 3. No, it's Hatter in number 6. There you go. And down the short side, Sam Apthorpe towards the 40. Starting to hold down in the tackles, the crowd getting a bit tetchy. Here's Metcalf looking to pass. And they've got him in the human chair, a bit of a thrash in the tackle. They let it go. Metcalf, Sean this time. And he's driven back. They've made ground without the ball there. Have Macquarie. And Dan Metcalf keeps it, throws it. Oh, they won't let that go. No, it was Alec Fattar there. I don't think he was expecting it. And they turn it over. And a few more people just leave their seats. Down there in the crowd, there's a few scowls and frowns around the ground today. The season started out with plenty of promise for Cessnock with a win over last year's premiers, but since then they've had a scrape of a draw against Maitland, and it's looking like a pretty heavy defeat today. So they could well have started the season 1 win, 1 draw, 1 loss, which doesn't often happen.
The treble in 3, yeah. I think the last play summed up Cessnock's day really. Just pretty disappointing. I think Macquarie will be very happy with the way they've defended and they've attacked it. I think they've been very impressive. And again, they've had a bit mixed form line, which we've just seen a very shocking scrum there. The 9 in Chris Hyde wasn't locking down in the lock position at all. He kind of skewed out, splayed out there. It was very strange.
It's the modern scrum, Matthew. It's the modern scrum. It's it's a circus. I think pretty much the scrum now only has utility as a way to get the forwards out of the play and give the backs a bit of space, doesn't it? I mean, they don't take it very seriously. Now, linesman Ricketts got involved there and said that there was a knee or a hand or something in there from Metcalf to jar the ball out, and Macquarie can start again with a penalty here. If they had a Pat Richards type in their side, they might have thought of taking the 2 and putting themselves more than 4 tries ahead, but instead jam it in the corner and start again with Hyde.
Wait for the pill, go.
And the 18, Isaac Briggs, bringing it forward.
Allen and Gallen there are pointing a few directions, which is interesting in the middle of the field.
Now they go. There's Sumner, but it's picked up by Heta, and if he's got the pace, he's got the room, but he steps inside. It's been knocked down anyway. Let's go back, shall we? They've said it was knocked back. Controversy, I think. There's some serious invective coming from the fence line now.
Yeah, a bit of
As we have a look
vitriol
at this replay
being
here.
spilt.
It was down that short side to Sumner. And I don't know if he touched that. I think he
off his feet, but I don't think off his hands. Definitely not there.
No, he thought about it. He had enough presence of mind to pull his hands away.
And I don't think it was on the ground either. I don't think on the ground he knocked it on. Very disappointing call there for Cessnock. They really haven't had the run at all today. A few calls going against them. Not to say that's the reason for the result, but they haven't had everything go their way.
Now here they go. Here's Favielli. He's been very difficult to contain over there. 2 tries today. Now here's Sutton. 9 minutes to go here. Macquarie 32, Cessnock 8. It's getting a little bit ragged. Here's Moran stepping. And that one's turned over. And Zeb Dunstan, everything he touches turns to gold. He's made the
intercept.
Yeah, it's not a bad contribution for 5 minutes.
Hold, go.
And they bring it forward. That looks like Alec Fattar there, who's toiled manfully today.
Get into no penalties. Come on, mate.
A lot of players out there for Cessnock. The effort couldn't be faulted. Joe Woodbury's another one of them. Now here's Sam
Heavy
Apthorpe.
tackle there from Gallen and Allen.
Gallen and Allen, it sounds like a touring circus team or something, doesn't it? Now here's Metcalf, and I think you can tell that Cessnock haven't got a great deal of belief in the result here, because there's not a lot of support as the forwards run the ball. They're not really following through and looking for the offload or any of that. It's all just petering out for them, I think. Here's Sean Metcalf, and Cohen King's going to launch this kick. Taken pretty well out there by Sutton, and he's going to try it on down the right. Good tackle by Woodbury, stood up and got him.
Just stand. Go.
And they're going to spread the ball here. And if he can if he could have got past that tackle, they had numbers to his left. Macquarie forwards very slow in getting back again. I think they know they've done most of their job today. Now Hyde, and he's scampering. He's still got plenty of energy. He's played the full 80 minutes as far as I'm aware, and he's still scampering away out of dummy half. Now here's Sumner, who's got a strong claim to man of the match for exactly this sort of thing, launching kicks downfield and turning Cessnock around, and these forwards have got 50 metres to get back onside.
I can't hear a word saying, boys, it's all squealing.
And Zeb Dunstan takes it up again. That was pretty ferocious defence again from Allen there. He's a pretty stocky fellow and he hits hard.
Yeah, he's been very good. A lot of strong runs, and him and Allen in the middle of the field. A bit of ball play from both of them, actually. They're not just strong runs and strong defence, but they've directed a bit of traffic, and I think that might have just been a touch forward.
Yeah, look, couldn't have been more than a kilometre. But as Cohen King into dummy half now, they'll give it to Fattar. And again, he takes it up.
Off the pill, Heidi!
And 4, and now his chasers on the left are offside, I think. But that kick's spiralling down, and Cantor got absolutely thumped. Cohen King's going to run it through, but they're going to call a shoulder charge. So as has happened to Cessnock a few times today, the celebrations have to be subdued. We'll have a look at this replay in a moment. I think he ruled a shoulder charge after he'd juggled the ball. Let's have a look.
Definitely all offside, or the 17 in Zeb Dunstan definitely was, but
yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, when you look at it, it was more a shove than a shoulder charge, wasn't it?
Yeah,
I think that's a bit harsh. I think though they were offside on the left, but so it was probably the right result, but not the right way of getting there. As Hyde launches this into the little old boy stand over there.
Holdy. Yeah, on the line. Yeah, wait for the pill. Wait for the pill. Hang on.
Cessnock will be on the 21st
Okay, go.
of May will play Central in a washout round
One.
catch-up.
Stand.
Hope everyone turns up May 23rd, Cessnock versus Central.
So Hyde gives that away to Gallen. As Macquarie bring it back. 5.5 minutes to go here. They've done a stellar job today, both the backs and the forwards. But there's a little run there from Isaac Briggs, who's looked a little bit lively when in the runs that he's had. And he's had a few scraps with the referee as well. Now here's Blake Gallen. He's another candidate, I think, for man of the match. Because not only has he carted it up strongly all day, but he's thrown a few important passes as well. And now that's off the legs there of Schmiedel. And then he's juggled past. Oh, look out, Lionel Messi. They're going to say play on. Well, this is... Schmiedel's going to get his second try, and I don't know which one's the more controversial.
Yeah,
Everybody stopped there, and I know you've got to play to the whistle, but that came off his thighs, and then he's juggled and stepped and bobbed and weaved. It was a bit of Cristiano Ronaldo showboating. He picked the ball up and ran into the corner.
Yeah, I think he has scored two of the weirdest tries you'll see all year. One-on-one strip, which, well, I think there was two involved, and that one I just don't know that.
Let's have a look here. I think the referee is getting involved. Oh, he's binned someone. Hello.
I think that's the number 11 in Alex Fatha.
No, I think it's Liam Foran. Now, I've got a feeling that Liam Foran might have got sent off in the game against Western Suburbs for 10 minutes as well. So I reckon this is his second binning in 3 games in the real NRL, which you've got to say, for a new player, is not a bad strike rate.
Oh, well, it's something, isn't it?
It's something to build on. So he's going to get the first use of the showers. Well, let's have a look at the replay.
Here we go.
So it came out.
It wasn't a bad ball from Allen.
It's off the knees. Maybe it is. Maybe it's off the shins.
Sweet. Hands.
Yeah. No.
There's no way you control that.
Look, it might be a slightly partisan audience up here in the commentary box, but they were all agreeing that it was a knock on. So
can I just say?
So in the interest of safety, I'm going to say that I agree.
Good footwork there from Schmeidel on the ground, though. For the Bar TV people, that was absolutely terrific footwork to get the ball and tow it through to score. But good ball there from Allen. He's, as we've noted a few times, he's a big guy and he runs hard and he tackles hard. But he certainly threw a long cutout ball there. It probably should have been caught, but obviously not being caught has been very beneficial. And they he strided away and scored quite easily. Schmeidel.
There's the kick. Oh, he's got it.
Oh, he's got one.
Well, I reckon, I'm not sure about this, but I reckon that's only maybe second successful kick, maybe his third.
I think he's had 2 in front and then 1.
Now, it's quite remarkable. Macquarie have scored 8 tries today. This score could have been a lot higher than it has ended up being. 38-8. It could have been 48-8 with some better goal kicking. This is a fair old touch-up that Cessnock are wearing here. And needless to say, the crowd is getting a little bit sparse.
And with 4 minutes to go as well, or just a tick under 4 minutes, and down to 12, I wouldn't be surprised if Macquarie can rack up another one. They've been very good today.
I didn't see anything which would have led to Foran being binned. I can only assume he was gobbing off or something. Had something to say to the referee, which is never advisable, unless you're in the grandstand. Now, here's a run from Simon Allen. He's been, as you mentioned, very strong all of today. And here's Isaac Briggs, got the fumbles. And they've turned it over, so Metcalf passes to to Sean Metcalf. And Cessnock, well, they can have a whack at a try here. Dan Metcalf, well, he's been willing all day. That's a good run. Hasn't been a lack of effort from Cessnock today, just a lack of cohesion. Now here's Easton. Hetter's got as he should do. He's twisting and turning, and he hasn't got it down.
Yeah, good defence there from Gallen and Cantor, I think, really just managed to hold him up, but big overlap here.
Holland, Edwards will go himself, and this time, try. This time he scores.
Let it go. He's got the try.
Aylett's pausing here for effect. And that's enough drama now. He awards the try. 38-12, 2.5 minutes to go here.
Yeah, good spinning there from Edwards. It's spun away from about 3 tackles there. But yeah, it's too little too late, I think, for Cessnock, and I think the result is pretty justified. Just really haven't been in the game, Cessnock, at all today, and But well done there from Edwards.
Goodness me, he looked like, that looked like that scene in the Coco Bongo Club in The Mask.
Yeah.
He was spinning around,
He might get a run in the Russian ballet with those kind of
yeah,
twists
maybe.
and turns.
That would be a code switch. That would make Jared Hayne look highly normal, wouldn't it? From real NRL to the Russian ballet. So Barishnikov scores the try, and Kerrod Holland's going to take the kick. It's funny that Kerrod Holland's not the main goal kicker this year, because he was the top point scorer for Cessnock last year, of course, and the main goal kicker. And Heta took the first 2 shots today and missed.
And
Kerrod Holland's taken one and kicked it. 38-14 with 90 seconds to go here.
That try was scored by number 3, Jared Edwards, converted by number 1, Kerrod Holland. Takes the score down to Macquarie 38, Cessnock 14.
So 70 seconds left on the clock. As the players, I think it's fair to say that neither side's in a great rush here.
No, I can imagine
Nothing silly in 1 minute.
both sides will be pretty happy to see this last 50 seconds run down.
Yeah, as there's the kick. So Willie Heather's got it. And they'll give it over there to Dan Metcalf, who's done most of the running in this late stage of the game. He's still been willing, and he's still got enough about him to get that pass to Sam Apthorpe. 30 seconds to go here. The Macquarie defenders on the right-hand side aren't even bothering to get back. Now here's Easton. He's had a few steady touches today.
Release girl off the pill. Wait here, Heidi. Go.
Now Heta. And Heta throws the long rainbow ball out there. And here's Edwards. And he might need those fancy feet again, but he's got plenty of pace. And this is the way he goes, back inside. And it's a tumbling tackle. There's 5 seconds to go. They might want to use them. Woodbury over there to Holland. Holland goes long and low out there to Fatah, and Fatah's going to finish the game with the ball, is he? No, he gives it to Holland, out there to Apthorpe. Apthorpe sticks it on the boot. It's not a bad one either. They might have a replacement for Foran next week at halfback. They might have a replacement for Foran at halfback. Goodness me. Well, if Liam Foran is whatever he did to get binned, if it was worthy of suspension, they might not have to worry, because Sam Apthorpe jammed that on the toe, and there's a try. Yeah, perfect. Brendan Williams scores the try. 38-18.
Yeah, Williams, as we said, hasn't really had a lot to do. Not. I don't think of his own, really of his own accord. He just didn't have a lot going on out there. But did a lot of work here to manage to stay in, and on the end of a inch perfect kick there from Apthorpe.
Well, that will go down very well with the forwards union there. That he's come off the bench and stuck the boot on one. So his kicking licence is, I think he's off provisional now. He's off the P plates.
But a lot of ball movement here for the good ball there from Cantor, and terrific kick. Had a lot to do there too. That ball was just took that off the bounce, and it was shooting out, and Williams did very well to keep that in and get it down.
Here's the kick from Holland. That one's on its way. No, it's not going to get there. So that's full time here at Cessnock. A game which there's a lot of scowls and frowns on the faces of the crowd as they trickle out of this ground. But the final score, Macquarie 38, Cessnock 18. Matthew, your thoughts on the game and your man of the match?
Yeah, I think Macquarie just too good. Cessnock fell into the trap they had in round 2. Just couldn't hold onto the ball and build any sustained pressure and get Macquarie down the other end where they wanted them. I thought Macquarie did everything well. They defended very well on their line when Cessnock had their chances. I thought they were very, very good kicking game in Subner and Moran, and they attacked very well. They exposed both sides of the field, both flanks, and both sets of wingers and centres scored a few tries. And look, it's man of the match. It could go 3 ways. I think you got Sumner. I think was fantastic. His kicking game, and he was very sharp when he jumped into dummy half for a few scoots. I think Allen and Gallen were very good as well. So if I had to split them, I'd probably give it to Gallen. I thought he was strong across the time he was out there in defence, in attack, and a bit of ball play as well.
Well, for the sake of difference, I think I'll say Sumner, not least because he did it when they attacked close to the line, and he was important to them then, and provided a lot of flair, but he also ran the game for Macquarie, putting those kicks into the corners, turning Cessnock around and making it very hard for them to get any momentum. But a highly entertaining game, albeit not a particularly close one, but I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. My name is Morgan Campbell. I've been more than ably assisted this afternoon by Matthew Peterson, and this is Bar TV.
Australia's leading sports organisations have made a pledge to tackle youth binge drinking.
Now when you're watching your favourite sports, like football,
Swimming, basketball,
Netball,
and athletics.
you'll see this logo.
it's all about coming together to have a positive influence on our drinking culture.
We're strong enough to say enough.
And you can be too.
Back your judgment.
Stand up for what you believe in.
Be the influence.